Hey, welcome to Kopi Ono with TJ and Kev. This is the first official episode. In the previous episode, we introduced ourselves, give you a little bit of background about who we are,
and why we did the channel.
And this episode is about Valentine's Day.
Yeah, and your birthday.
And my birthday, which are 2 days apart, and the struggles we had in she had in planning everything. Gave me like a preview of how hard it was gonna be to plan things for your birthday, which is in 2 months' time.
2 weeks.
The longer planning time doesn't give me a chance to be more able-bodied.
You could just grow legs.
Oh wow! No, don't say it.
So basically, this video is going to be talking about like how I planned a 3-day itinerary for you, and I was really excited because a bit smaku, right? Like, I mean, this is the first time like I'm actually dating someone who is disabled on a wheelchair. And I love event planning, so I was like, oh, up my alley. I'm really excited, you know, and actually generated a list of 23 items filled with like food places and also activities. And I was really stoked, and I told myself, okay, you know what, like 23 items, it's gonna be fun.
Plenty.
There's gonna be like plenty of activities to do. You're gonna be so tired each day. But what I quickly learned was that the 23 items like really quickly narrowed down to only one activity, and then we had about like 6 food places.
There are some places who don't even attempt to be inclusive.
I guess, I mean, if
like,
that is not their target market, then they probably don't have to give a shit about it.
Which brings us to the next few places.
Okay, we caveat first, we're not going to name and shame these places. I'm not even going to name them because I'm not going to be supporting them. But I don't necessarily think that we should be shaming them. But we're going to be talking about the experiences or the interactions that I've had talking to some of them. Okay. I actually saw like online an advertisement that actually has this package that provided couples with the opportunity to dine in a cable car. And so I was like, oh yeah, this is cool because you like sunsets, and I thought it would be a perfect opportunity to have kind of like a dinner date in the cable car, right? So I actually dropped them an email. I didn't get a reply, and I went onto the website. There was a live bot, so I actually requested to speak to one of the agents, and I said, oh hi, you know, like my girlfriend is actually on a wheelchair, but we are wondering whether, you know, there is actually a possibility of actually buying this package so that we can, you know, dine in a cable car, right? And so the person was just initially kind of nice, so saying like, oh, you know, we can actually slow down the cable car, but she needs to like stand up and walk from the wheelchair into the cable car. And I was like, oh, why? Then the person said, oh, it's because the wheelchair will not be able to fit into the cable car because there'll be a table there. So I said, I completely understand, but my girlfriend is not able to walk. Like, she is on a wheelchair and she's not able to walk, but she's able to transfer. And I think from that point, that's where it just like spiraled downwards, because the person just started saying, oh, no, in that case, right, we can't have this, you know, you can't do it, you can't purchase it. And I was just like, why? Like, she transfers really fast. And they just flat out kept telling me like, no, you know, it's because of our safety precaution. It's not like, it's not safe, you know, it's dangerous, and clearly, it's from my perspective, it seemed as though they weren't ready to take the risk, which is completely understandable. But I felt that the person wasn't giving me an opportunity to kind of explain, because I mean, at the end of the day, like, different people on wheelchairs, like, different people have different amount of mobility, independence, and so on. And I wanted to tell them, like, I know you're scared, but like, we know what we're doing, you know. And I told them that I'll be there to help you, and it'll be really fast. But they weren't convinced, I guess.
I think they were just overwhelmed by the fear of what ifs and stuff like that lah.
But here's the ironic thing, because the cable car, they told me, cannot come to a stop. It can slow down, and then you know, you have to walk and all that. So I'm picturing someone who perhaps is an elderly person, getting up from a wheelchair and slowly walking into a moving cable car, right? I don't know how that is safer than me, like, oh, you getting yourself into the wheelchair, transferring, and then me pushing out the wheelchair, given that you will do it so much faster.
I've actually been in the cable cars.
In Singapore?
I can't remember if it's Singapore, but I definitely went to one in Russia.
Right.
And it also slowed down.
Yeah.
And there was no issue there.
Well, I think if, you know, if people actually need to see how fast you actually transfer, we actually have a live footage of expectations versus reality, of what people think will happen when TJ enters the cable car and what she can actually do when she enters it. So
watch now.
So
that wasn't so bad, right? That aside, I think if anybody is thinking of starting up a cable car company, or is from a cable car company that we're talking about,
let us try.
Yeah,
I think that's something to, like, I mean, have that conversation with us instead of just flat out rejecting people just because you think it's not safe. Yeah.
So okay, the next activity is something that I've done many times, which when she told me about, I was quite flabbergasted because I was like, are you sure?
So this was a phone call conversation that I had with this person, okay? Are you ready for me to be very, very triggered? So I had a call with this place and I said, okay, hello, I actually saw your package online and I'm actually interested to purchase a coupon for 2 people. But before I make the purchase of the coupon, I actually wanted to inquire whether this place is wheelchair accessible, whether someone who is on a wheelchair can enter your place and actually can, you know, like go on the massage and stuff, right? So the person on the line, and I'm not making this up, this is accurate, as accurate as I can be, okay? So when I said all of that, in my mind I was like, okay, maybe I shouldn't have said so much, because the person clearly didn't understand. The response was, huh? You looking at our website, you booked already? And I said, I'm about to book, but I want to confirm if the place is wheelchair accessible first. I mean, just being on the line and 2 or 3 minutes of her just going back and forth with the same few lines was making me really frustrated. And she clearly didn't understand what I was trying to say. So then I just like held the phone and was like, wheelchair can enter, wheelchair can buy coupon, wheelchair can massage. So, and only when I said those 3 lines did she, oh, wheelchair, huh? But here's the thing, she actually said, huh, if wheelchair, you better think twice. And I was like, what?
Think twice.
And she's like, yeah, because it's the space that we have can enter. The room is very small. Our staff, we will help, but it's very dangerous. What you mean dangerous? I didn't get it.
I think I know what she's talking about. Watch this.
Girl, you can turn now. Girl, you can turn now.
Very dangerous, right? I think the similarity with these 2 places was that they placed the limitation on me, or like people on wheelchairs, before we could even tell them what our limitations were. And it's still fear lah, right? I think in the end it's still them being afraid that I'll fall down, or
and they will probably get sued, get into trouble,
which is such a dangerous mindset lah.
And I think also a lot of people also lack the awareness of the variety of disabilities. Like someone on a wheelchair, I mean, we've actually watched a couple of videos in the past few days where someone who looks able-bodied And some of them can actually walk, but they're sitting on a wheelchair. And there were a lot of people who were flaming them and saying like, why are you on a wheelchair if you can walk?
Yeah.
You know, but they don't understand. There are a lot of like invisible disabilities.
Or like different extremes different spectrums.
Exactly. So this was really frustrating.
Yeah, I think in one of our future videos we will show you just how different people on wheelchairs abilities are. You know, somewhat like I have 2 other friends who are also on wheelchairs, but all 3 of us have different ability levels when it comes to different things. And look out for that in the next episode. Not next episode. Look out for that
upcoming
in
episodes.
Upcoming episodes.
And we actually travel all the way to Turf City. We were wheeling towards Grandstand, and I said, hey Theresa, go up towards the car park because I think it's easier for you to get into the mall. What I didn't realize is that there actually isn't an accessible way to get into the mall from the car park area. It was a flight of stairs, so we had to go down to the main entrance. And while she was wheeling, I was just like closing my eyes and like so I was like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna push you, because the location, like the spot that I booked was like we were gonna pass by it, and I was so nervous. I kept like pushing her, and I was speeding already.
It was X Factor, okay.
Ooh, are we going to X Factor?
And then I looked at her, I was like, it is X Factor! I mean, there are X's on the outside of the shop. How would I not notice that? We went to the X Factor. Super friendly staff also, very I think I wrote into X Factor asking if they were wheelchair accessible, and they said they never had a person on wheelchair also.
Same thing they told me as well, but they were really nice because they actually said that they will let you come in and they will actually get their staff to help you out because along like when you throw the eggs and then you have to hit the board, right? So right below the boards there are actually like wooden chips. So people on wheelchair and stuff, you will not be able to wheel onto the chips because they all loose bits. And so I told them that, you know what, it's okay. So I also had a separate conversation with them in planning for this, and I told them, you know what, like I don't want to trouble your stuff, like I'll be there, so I would help to pick up the eggs and stuff. Which I regret because
she was so tired.
It was hectic. No, I was so excited that I just kept like going. I was doing shuttle runs between like my boards and Theresa's boards.
But it was really good. Like I could do it because like my disability level is I just can't walk, right? So upper body wise, I could do it all. I could throw the axes. I was better at
throwing. She looked like a gladiator.
She looked like a gladiator. What are you talking about? Like I think I was better at throwing the small axes. But the big axes were her forte. Xena the warrior princess, watch out. But it was really fun, and I think I had a lot of fun. You were really tired, but you had a lot of fun. You can see some videos after this, like right now.
Ooh. Well done. Nice.
I got it! And yeah, so that's what we did for X Factor.
I mean, this has clearly motivated me to actually to check out more sports to see whether they are accessible and willing to collaborate, and perhaps, I mean, because I still do enjoy, even though I had a couple of like rotten apples, but I still do enjoy planning for events and so on. And I think, you know, if you guys, any of you, are interested in checking out places or planning like day trips or day activities or even like weekend for people with disabilities or people on wheelchair, we would definitely love to have that conversation.
Or if you know anything that you think we should check out, any activities, places, comment below, let us know. We will go check them out when we have the time. We don't really know what we're going to talk about in the next episode yet, but come join us anyway. Thank you for joining us on Kopiono with TJ and Kev in this episode. We hope you enjoyed it. Share, like, comment, subscribe. You know, comment below on what you want to hear from us. And see you next time.